If you're a national board candidate and you've written something like, students were highly engaged during the lesson, then this video is for you because that sentence does not count as evidence for component 3, and it's one of the most common reasons candidates lose points. I want to explain why scorers don't accept that language and what they're actually looking for instead. So, what is the most common component 3 mistake that candidates lose points for anyway? Sentences like, students were engaged, students participated actively, students were motivated. Those sentences do not count as evidence for component 3, and it's one of the most common reasons candidates lose points. Engagement feels like evidence because it feels positive, but from a scorer's perspective, it's your interpretation and it's not proof of learning. When you say students were engaged, scorers immediately ask, engaged how? Doing what? And most importantly, what changed? Component 3 is not about describing a good lesson. It's about showing a clear cause and effect relationship. Scorers are trained to look for observable evidence, not general impressions. Strong evidence usually includes at least one of the following: a shift in student thinking, a comparison between early and later responses, specific student language or actions tied to the objective, or evidence that a student applied feedback or instruction. So when candidates rely on phrases like students discussed, students participated, students were engaged, they're actually describing the activity, not the learning. Notice the differences here. Strong evidence names the instructional move, shows a change, and points to what demonstrates it. For example, instead of saying students were engaged in the discussion, a stronger version sounds like, after modeling how to justify their reasoning, students shifted from giving single word answers to explaining their thinking using academic language. All right, so this matters because component 3 scoring language always rewards clarity, consistency, and alignment between teacher moves and student outcomes. When your evidence stays vague, scorers can't give you credit, even if the lesson itself is actually really strong. Most candidates don't fail because they're bad teachers. They struggle because their language doesn't match how scorers are trained to read entries. Okay, so the real issue here, look, it's not your teaching. Most candidates don't struggle because they're ineffective teachers. They struggle again because their language just doesn't match how scorers are trained to read the entries. So if this is something that you struggled with or you're currently struggling with, I've linked the exact evidence and claim templates I used to earn my National Board certification in the description below. And remember, precision matters. Take your time.